Hello everyone, Darren Hardy here. I wanted to pop on real quick and answer some questions as well as check in on you, see how you're doing. We're 2 installments into our 16 installment journey on how to design the best 10 years of your life. So I want to check in and see how you're doing. First of all, I want to tell you how inspiring it has been to me and to my entire Success staff with all of the enthusiasm and commitment that you're showing to really roll up your sleeves, dig in, and get after this process together collectively as a group, as well as the individual effort that you're putting forth. And all the comments you're putting up on the blog, truly inspiring. Keep them coming. I appreciate it greatly. Now, first question is, people have asked if I refer other people right now. You're starting to get a sense this is really valuable stuff and you want to refer more friends or family or colleagues or people within your company. Yes, you can refer people all the way through the process. So every time we put out a new installment, you're going to get access to the previous installment. So it doesn't matter whether somebody joins today. On the 3rd installment, they'll get the first 2 installments, worksheets and downloads as well. You join the 8 installments deep, you'll still get the back 7 installments access as we go through this journey. Now, once it's over, there won't be any more access to the worksheets and download documents, but during the process, you can refer as many people as you like, and they'll have access to the previous downloads along the way. So I wanted to answer that question real quick. What was the other one? Yes, the post gets published on the blog on the internet, but the download documents come in the email that FeedBurner sends usually in the evening of the day that the post is published. So that's where the documents to the published post that you see during the day, they come in the evening with the email update. That's where to look for them. And I'll get some more questions here in just a bit. But the first thing I want to emphasize is you're getting a sense that this is requiring some work, right? Some thoughtful contemplation, some real digging into the archives of your mind, your memory, your past, as well as really challenging, who you really want to be and who you want to become. You're really going to find that as you go through the 2nd installment of this process. One of the most important, as well as the most profound and compelling ones, if you take it serious, about how to really navigate the rest of your life going forward. That is an important installment. So I know it's work. It's a process in which to go through. I just want to give you a reference point. This is like one giant filter, and you're already 80% of the way. I mean, of all the people out there, how many people read Success Magazine? Okay, you're past the first gate. You read Success Magazine. How many people read beyond that and read and keep updated with my blog? So you've passed that gate further. How many people who read the blog signed up for this particular challenge? Another gate you passed. How many people are reading it and downloading the documents? You passed that gate. So now it's the process of, will you actually take the thoughtful contemplation to fill them out? And one more layer of the filter separating you from everybody else. If you do the work, if you go through the process, does that make you exceptional? Does it make you extraordinary? The answer is yes, it does. It does, because so many people will start but they won't finish. And this is the reason why I really wanted to come on here and talk to you. I know that it is work, but the filter is taking place. If you start, the most important thing is that you finish, that you go all the way through, which is the reason why I had each of you sign this commitment pledge. Just finish the process. The magic will start to reveal itself as you go through it, but it's going to require work. I mean, think about this. You spent 4 years to get a college education. Think about the amount of time that you spent planning your wedding. Think about the amount of time you spent planning your last summer vacation. I know that my wife and I, we took a 3-week vacation through Portugal and England this past year. She spent an enormous amount of time planning that 3-week vacation. Well, how much time and energy should you spend planning the next 10 years of your life? It is that serious. It's that important, but it's going to take work. It's going to take time. So we're 2 installments into it. If you haven't kept up thus far, no problem. Do it on the weekend. Carve out some time, 2 or 3 hours on the weekend, and go through the first 2 installments, worksheets, and documents so that you're all set and ready to go for week number 2, which is going to be additionally an important week in this process. So take the weekend and get caught up if you haven't gotten caught up to this point thus far. So with that, let me answer some additional questions. I signed up today. How do I get the previous materials? Again, it'll come in the next installment. The next time email updates come out, you'll get that installments documents as well as the previous documents. Let me also read a couple of comments that have come in on the blog that I find especially encouraging. I want to offer some comments to. This one comes from Jamaica, and she said, like everyone else, I'm overly excited. However, when I complete the worksheets on review and gratitude, I kind of felt bad. There are a few areas where I could find, where I could fill in all the space, but for the most part, I really couldn't, for the life of me, recall many milestones or victories. Shockingly, some of the questions I just couldn't answer. And the thing is, I would never have paid this attention if it wasn't for this program. All of this is new to me. I've never had many influences or role models, and this definitely, and definitely not this much encouragement. So, Darren, all I can truly say is thank you. And what I wanted to say is, if that's what you come to as a realization that you don't have enough milestones or enough victories in which to document, it set an intention that that's not going to happen come the next year, come the next 10 years. If that's what this process has you declare, then this process was worth it for you. So sometimes it's just a hard look in the mirror to say, wow, I really haven't been making the progress I could have been making. I haven't been doing the disciplines that I should have been doing. There should be more for me to put down here. I'm not going to let this happen come a year from now, come 10 years from now. So that will make this process very, very valuable to you. Another comment was that I just want to put out a virtual hug for. She wrote, and this comes from Lori, I recently read your quote about charging in the direction of your grandest vision. Sadly, I attended a funeral of a dear friend's parent on the same day. When I read your story of the woman who had a few friends and not much of a life, I saw myself. I could never write a eulogy for myself, nor could anyone else, and I know that I would not be missed 2 years later, except by my children, but even they are strong and violent, could go on happily. Now I am torn. I have no grand vision. What is the point of going on? What can I do to create a grand vision and give myself the charge to go on? Well, all I can tell you, Lori, is go on with this program and you'll find what is deep inside you. Maybe some dormant dreams, desires, and ambitions that you haven't had unlocked in a long period of time. But if you do the thoughtful work that this program will dig out of you, you'll find that grand vision. You'll open up that toy box of dreams and goals again. And so I just want to encourage you to do that. But let me give you I heard a story recently about Albert Nobel. And he had a brother who died in Switzerland. And at the time, this was a few years ago, the papers thought it was Albert Nobel. And they wrote his obituary. And in that obituary, Albert Nobel was remembered primarily for inventing dynamite, which was used in a number of wars and was a cause of great devastation, destruction, and heinous acts. And when Albert read this obituary, that is when he had a stark realization about his life. And it was at that moment where he decided to take all his creative power and all the financial resources that he had created to that point and form the Nobel Peace Prize, or all of the most esteemed prizes in the areas of mathematics and science and economics and peace and chemistry. And that is why we have the Nobel Prizes that we have today, is because Albert Nobel mistakenly read his obituary before he had even passed, made a conscious decision to change the pattern of his life in order to change what would ultimately end up becoming his obituary, which is known for one of the greatest names and contributions to humankind that we know of, which is the Nobel Prizes. So you all get a chance to choose how your obituary is going to read. Even if at this moment it wouldn't be very grand, it wouldn't be even much for celebration, now's the time in which to change the trajectory of your life and change how your obituary is going to read. So this process is going to help you go through that. We're going to make it simple. It's going to require work. I don't want to lose anybody along the way. This filter is taking place. People have started. I just want to be sure as many of you can finish, because that's where the life transformation will come from. That's where the magic of this process will start to reveal itself. So with that, I want to send you off to have a wonderful, very contemplative, introspective weekend, and get you caught up on all the installments thus far. more, get prepared for a exciting week ahead with 2 more great installments as we take this journey forward. So with that, thank you once again for your enthusiasm, all the accolades, and the commitment you're demonstrating to making this process work for you and for everybody else that is taking the journey together. So have a great weekend, everybody.